Legacy Maker, the All Sports Network.
Welcome to the one-on-one. When it comes to ratings, man, we number one. I get the truth, then I give them the scoop. If anybody got a question, I give them the proof. Welcome to the one-on-one. When it comes to ratings, man, we number one. I get the truth, then I give them the scoop. If anybody got a question, I give them the proof. Welcome to one-on-one at Legacy Maker Sports Network.
It's Thursday, and that can only mean one thing. Bam. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. We are back here on the Legacy Maker Sports Network with another edition of one-on-one here on the Legacy Maker Sports Network. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We came with you with two this week. If you didn't get a chance, go back and take a look at last night's episode with Coach Aaron Russell of the Richmond Spiders. Just a great episode. Good to catch up with my man. He's been the head coach of that women's basketball team now for a couple of years. So episode 77 was a great one. Make sure you go back and check it out. The team is doing really, really well. And he has really grown that program over the last couple of years. So it was great to have Coach Aaron Russell on his fourth time. He is a four-time member, the most that anybody has been here on one-on-one. Now, with all that being said, tonight we've got Thursday night football. And then in the eyes of the viewer, this should be a banger. We've got Lamar Jackson taking on Tom Brady, but we know that both teams, the Ravens have been doing well. They've had some rocky, not too bad season. They're 4-3. Spoiler, we got them in the top 10 this week. The Buccaneers, on the other hand, not so much. And spoiler, they're in the bottom. So it's been a little crazy. And the Bucs team looks just completely different. But look, not going to sit here and bore you to death with all of this pre-talk. We're going to get into the power rankings. We got a lot to get into because you got some football to watch tonight. So first, let's start off with our recap. And we'll go back from last week, just taking a peek at everything that went down last week on these power rankings and kind of where we stand, so you know where we are going into this week. First, let's look at the bottom. Now, in the bottom, we had the Carolina Panthers. This is from bottom to, I guess, the best in the bottom. So 32-21. We had Panthers, Texans, Lions, Raiders, Bears, Jaguars, Broncos, Commanders, Steelers, Cardinals, Browns, and Saints. Now, as you see, sorry about the records on the Browns and the Saints. Those were fibs. They both were 2-4. Then also we had the outside looking in. We had the Dolphins starting from 20-11. The Dolphins, the Seahawks, the Patriots, the Packers, the Bucks, the Rams, the Falcons, 49ers, Bengals, and Colts. Okay. And then we had the top 10. Top 10, we had the Ravens at number 10. We had the Titans, who are on a bye, the Jets, Chargers, Cowboys, Chiefs, Giants, Vikings, Bills, and Eagles at number 1. Then our players of the week, we had Matt Ryan. What a day for Matt Ryan. We all know that as we get into this show today that, not so good news for Matt Ryan after getting our player of the week before. But he had a great week the week before, that 42 for 58, 389 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a big win over Jacksonville. Obviously, it wasn't enough to keep his job because Sam Ehlinger will be the starter from here on out, which still blows my mind. So when I'm in Indianapolis this week, instead of seeing Matt Ryan at quarterback, I'm going to see Sam Ehlinger versus Taylor Heineke, when I thought I was going to get Carson Wentz versus Matt Ryan, which would have been a better storyline. But two teams with young quarterbacks, see what they'll do. Quinnen Williams and that beautiful upstart Jets team who are continuing to look well. He was our defensive player of the week. And our top 5, Allen, Hurts, Barkley, Mahomes, and Jefferson were our top 5 MVP candidates heading into last week. And then we had our Thursday night game, which, as people know now, did not go well for me, as now I'm 4-3. But we had the Saints beating the Cardinals, and it didn't go that way. Truly, truly, truly disappointed. I thought that would go a whole nother way, but it didn't. Nevertheless, we're going to go ahead, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to get into it. Let's get into week 8's power rankings. And of course, with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start off with the bottom. So the bottom this week. First, we got the Houston Texans. The Texans coming off the bye, maybe hoping to get things going against the Raiders. Not so much. Josh Jacobs had an absolutely insane day as he had 20 carries, 143 yards, and 3 touchdowns in that contest. And it was kind of tight for a while. It was tied up at the half. The Texans had the lead at the end of the third. And then after that, the Raiders said, "No, we ready." And they went in there and did their thing. Devontae Adams had 8 receptions for 95 yards. Solid day for him. Davis Mills for Houston went 28 for 41, had 302 yards and 2 touchdowns, but it just wasn't enough for this Raiders team, who moved up a little bit. They were 29th last week. They are now at 24 this week. So kudos to the Raiders as they're trying to get out the bottom and maybe get to the outside looking in, but we'll see. At 31, we have the Detroit Lions. I'm sorry. I've done the best I could. I've supported you. I've supported you and hope for the best, man. I really want to see Dan Campbell and the Lions do well. And at one point in the season, I thought that was going to continue to be the case, but it just hasn't. Amon-Ra St. Brown had got hurt at the beginning of the game, had a concussion. He was out. Cowboys, kind of lingering along as they were trying to get, Prescott back into the groove. They, in the first half, the Lions had a 6-3 lead, and then, the Cowboys went on there and did their thing. They ended up winning 24-6. The Lions are at 31. Hopefully they can get that thing together. At number 30, we got the Carolina Panthers. Let's give a hand clap to the Carolina Panthers. Good job, Carolina. Went into their contest against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Nobody, not a soul, except unless you're a Carolina Panthers fan, picked the Carolina Panthers to beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I know I didn't. That was not on my repertoire. That was not something that I said was going to happen last week. And, it is what it is. But, much love to PJ Walker and the Panthers team and Coach Steve Wilkes. They went in there, got the dub 21-3. And, just a lot of controversy coming from that game. Of course, the big scene of the referee going into the tunnel chasing after Mike Evans. Our girl Sheena Quick, who is a alumni here on 101, she came in back in episode 25, and here she's in our intro, and she actually saw it, and she was like, "That don't look right." So she saw it go down. The NFL had a whole big investigation over this video. And so, Sheena, you do your thing, girl. I mean, you reporting the news, you're doing your thing. We got your back no matter what people say about what happened with the video, if good or bad. So we got your back. Good reporting. Hey, you saw it, you went with it. And then so the Panthers win that one 21-3, and the Bucs continue to struggle. As you can see, the Bucs are in the bottom, ladies and gentlemen, at 3-4, the very best at the bottom, but they're at the bottom at number 21. So congratulations to the Panthers at number 30. At number 29, the Denver Broncos. Boy, oh boy. Well, I will say this about the Broncos. Their defense held strong and, really kept them in this contest. But the Jets just found a way to squeeze through. The Jets are 4-0, ladies and gentlemen. 4-0 on the road. They are a really good road team right now. They are dominating on the road. 4-0 on the road, 1-2 at home. So if the Jets just play on the road the rest of the year, they're going to win the Super Bowl. I'm just okay, whatever. But we got the Broncos at 29. There's talk that Russell Wilson could play. They're in London this week playing the Jaguars. There is talk that Russell Wilson will play on Sunday morning. But he was on the plane doing backflips and stretching his legs, knee highs, all that fancy stuff, trying to get himself ready. We'll see. Broncos at number 29. At number 28, the Cleveland Browns. Another tough loss for Cleveland. But the Ravens were able to squeak through at home to get a 23-20 victory over the Browns. And so the Browns are, at one point I thought they can kind of like stick in that mix. They need to find a way to get a couple of wins here before Deshaun gets back. They don't want to get to a point where they're out of playoff contention, because in that division they still have a chance. The Bengals are 4-3. The Ravens are 4-3, and now you look at the Steelers; they're 2-5, so they're not completely out. They're about 2 games behind, but things can happen. So, but we got the Browns at 28. Speaking of the Steelers, we have them at 27. The Steelers, unfortunately, couldn't pull off a very hard fought game against the Dolphins on Sunday night. Intriguing game, but they were able, unfortunately, weren't able to get the dub in that contest. And the Dolphins win their 4th game of the season. The Steelers, after having a big win against the Buccaneers last week, unfortunately fall this week. They're at 27. At 26, we got the New Orleans Saints. Now, the Saints, it was rough. That second quarter in that game against the Cardinals, 25-7. The Cardinals scored 25 points in there, and the lead was just outstanding. And the Saints did kind of make a little bit of a run towards the end of the game to make it a little bit closer, but it just wasn't enough. Andy Dalton threw 3 picks. For a team that has such a decent offense, and 2 weeks ago they were talking about, Andy Dalton could be the starter. Now, once Jameis is healthy, that man is getting right back into that position. We'll see how things go there, but unfortunately, the Saints fall to 2-5. They're 26 on our countdown. At number 25, the Jacksonville Jaguars, another team where I had a lot of hope. Thought them good things would happen. They started off great. They did something this week that I'm not a fan of for them, but I am a fan of for the Jets. And they traded James Robinson. Man, I love James Robinson. And they traded James Robinson to the Jets. Big pickup, ladies and gentlemen. Big pickup for the Jets. But with all that being said, this Jaguars team has to find a way to get back on track, especially in that division where they still got a chance. They're not out in the AFC South. They're not out by far. Tough game this week against the Giants. They played hard. They did the best they could last week, and they just couldn't pull it off. But the Giants, man, 6-1. But like I said, we'll talk about the Giants a little bit later. Jaguars have to figure it out. I think Doug Peterson will find a way to get these guys back on the right track. But they felt like they were able to give away James Robinson because Travis Etienne is starting to run the ball well. 14 carries, 114 yards, and a touchdown. Great game for Etienne. So we'll see if Jacksonville can, maybe scrounge up a win on Sunday. Spoiler alert, as I like to drop them on here, I have them beating the Broncos. Next at 25, at 24, we have the Raiders. We talked about their victory over the Texans. The Patriots are at 23. The Bears are at 22. The Bears smacked the New England Patriots on Monday Night Football. Destroyed them 33-14. No one saw that. This is another one nobody saw coming. I didn't have it in my right mind that this was something that would go down. I thought that it would be, all Patriots all day. Bailey Zappi, Mac Jones didn't make a difference. And, they toyed with both quarterbacks. The Patriot fans was chanting Zippy's name. That still didn't have no effect because Justin Fields and the Bears went in there and they laid the wood. And the Bears got their 3rd victory of the season. So Bears at 22, Patriots at 23. At 21, we talked about a little bit earlier, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. What is going on with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? And this could be just a difference in coach. And I'm going to throw this out there because I haven't heard nobody say too many people say anything about it. BA, Bruce Arians is a different beast. Yes, him and Tom may have not gotten along from a couple of reports I heard or whatever, but in the end, we know what type of coach he is and the type of great coach he is. And so for, Todd Bowles to get in, and we seen him coach at the Jets. I just felt like, he's nonsense. He's a great defensive coordinator, but some people shouldn't be head coaches, or probably shouldn't. Yeah, let's be honest, shouldn't be head coaches. I didn't think he should have been the move. They probably should have went with Leftwich, but I understand them going with the veteran presence. They got a lot to figure out there in Tampa Bay. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the bottom. All right. So there's our bottom heading into week 8. And so a lot of teams in there I thought were going to do really well or have some, pretty much a decent season, but there's some struggles. The Broncos, the Jaguars, the Saints, the Browns I thought would, have a little fight. The Raiders. So a lot of craziness going on at the bottom. And we're just going to see how things play out here. But now let's head to the outside looking in. All right, on the outside looking in this week. at the very bottom of the outside looking in, and they probably should be in the bottom. I don't know, y'all. It was just bad. The Green Bay Packers losing the Commanders 23-21, had the lead up 14-3, looking like they were in control. A lot of high energy, and once again, the Green Bay Packers fall apart in the second half. Fall apart in the second half. If you can't tell, I'm a little bit angry. I was there doing photography in this game, and I'm sitting there watching, and I said, "Man, this is crazy." But you gotta take your fanhood out. I just sat there and grinded my teeth until the end of the game, and just watch my boys get, just get outplayed from beginning to end. The Commanders, who are 19 in the countdown this week, excuse me, on the power rankings, just amazing job. They played well. They ran the ball well. Gibson and Robinson did great. Heineke made some great throws in the second half, especially after that pick six from Devondre Campbell, who took it back 60-something yards for a touchdown. It just was different. But much love to the Commanders. Left hands up. We are the Commanders. I'm not going to do this song, y'all. I'm not going to do this song. We got Packers at 20, Commanders at 19. At 18, we got the Atlanta Falcons. Tough day for the Atlanta Falcons. Great day by Joe Burrow. Tough day for the Atlanta Falcons. I think it's a baby setback. I still think Atlanta's a better team than what we've seen. They're great at home, not so good on the road. We'll see how they do. They're at 18. At 17, we got the Arizona Cardinals. We talked about their beautiful victory over the Saints. They win 42-34. Kind of got a little bit of their mojo back in that one, but we know how the Cardinals have been playing. 1 week they're great. 1 week is like, 1 week is like, ooh, and then 1 week is like, oh, okay. But they got DeAndre Hopkins back. Let's see if that helps turn the tide for the Cardinals. They're at 17. At 16, the San Francisco 49ers. Man, San Francisco hung tight with the Kansas City Chiefs at the beginning of that game. They ended up losing 44-23. They hung in there. It was a good game. It was 14-13 at the half. And then the Chiefs said, we're just going to score 30 points if you don't mind. Good night. It was crazy. It was different seeing Christian McCaffrey in a 49ers uniform. But nevertheless, it was still a really good contest. I thought that, really good contest in the beginning. And I thought they held their own. Then the Chiefs showed up. And then it got bad from there. But we got the 49ers at 16. I still think they're a better team than what we saw in that contest. At 15, the Indianapolis Colts. They're 3-1. They lost to the Titans last week. And, no more Matt Ryan. We talked about it earlier. Sam Ehlinger is going to be the starter as they take on the Commanders this week from Indianapolis. Sunday evening game, 4:25. So I look at this contest and say that the Colts are – I don't know what they are. I've had them in the middle pretty much the whole season. Like some weeks I'm like, oh, okay. And then it's like kind of with the Cardinals. The next week I'm like, oh no. So that's where I kind of feel. And that's kind of where I'm at with the Colts. They're at 15. At 14, we got the LA Rams. They were on a bye. They're chilling at 14. At 13, we got the Chargers. Rough game against the Seahawks. The Seahawks, man. The Seahawks, who are 12 on this countdown. 37-23. 37-23. That's all I can say. And Geno Smith was out there slinging once again. And Kenneth Walker the third, 23 carries, 168 yards, 2 touchdowns. Man, no one saw this coming. Guess who's the division leader in the NFC West? That's right. The Seattle Seahawks. They're at 12. The Chargers are at 13. At 11, the Miami Dolphins. I got to say this about the Miami Dolphins before we move on to the top 10. The Miami Dolphins, ladies and gentlemen, have when Tua is healthy and finishes a game, like completely finishes a game without injury, they're 4-0. And when he's not, if he doesn't finish the game or he's injured, during the game and doesn't return, something like that, they're 0-3. So with Tua, they are great. So without Tua, not so much. And we saw that. We'll see if they can creep back into the top 10, here in the next couple of weeks. But they are at number 11 at the current time. All right. That was the outside looking in, ladies and gentlemen. And now it is time for the top 10. All right, so this week in the top 10, and the top 10 didn't move a lot. And a lot of the top 3 teams were on a bye. So as you can see, the Eagles, the Vikings, and the Bills are in their same spots. Eagles at 1, Bills at 2, Vikings at 3. The Bengals moved into the top 10, and they are back in there for the first time since the beginning of the season. So they're back in the top 10, looking pretty good there after a beautiful victory over the Atlanta Falcons, 35-17. Great day by Joe Burrow and the crew. Joe Burrow had it was 34 for 42, 481 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Absolutely amazing. We got the Bengals at 10. At number 9, the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens, 4-3. Tough victory over the Browns. A gutsy victory over the Browns keeps them in the top 10. They got a great game tonight against the Bucs. We'll see if they can move to 5-3. At number 8, 4-2, the Tennessee Titans. Tennessee not winning pretty, just kind of like last year. They're not winning like pretty. They're not really winning ugly. They're just kind of finding a way to win. And that's kind of where they are again this year, like they were last year, right? When we wrote them off, they started going off, and then they were the number 1 seed in the AFC. So, and we'll see how things go. They got Derrick Henry. We know how that goes. And, Tannehill doesn't play miserable during the regular season. So see if the Titans can make things happen. Beautiful new stadium up on the horizon in 2026, at least from the diagrams I saw. It could be really beautiful out there in Nashville. Titans at 8. At 7, the New York Football Jets, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give the Jets a round of applause because the Jets have been absolutely just great to see. And they have come in here, and we talked about earlier, they're 4-0 on the road, but they're 5-2 overall, and they're playing great football. So much love to Robert Saleh and the guys up there in New York. They're at number 7. The Cowboys, a.k.a. the Desperados, are at number 6, 5-2. Tough victory over the Lions because it was tight at first, and then they pulled away. They outscored them 21-0 in the second half. The Cowboys, ladies and gentlemen, are at number 6 and rising to the top. Well, at least for Cowboys fans, that's how they feel. At number 5, the Kansas City Chiefs, blowout win against the San Francisco 49ers that didn't start off that way, but definitely ended that way. Pat Mahomes and the crew cruising, staying at number 5. At number 4, now I may catch some slack from this, but at number 4, the New York Football Giants are 6-1. I thought about putting them at number 2 this week, but the guys that didn't, play this week, I just decided to leave it that way. I felt that, they didn't do anything really to lose their spot. But the Giants definitely, with the win, did everything they needed to solidify the spot. So Vikings at 3, Bills at 2, and once again for another week, the Philadelphia Eagles are the number 1 team on the power rankings here on 1-on-1. All right, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Those are your power rankings heading into week 8. Now let's go ahead and finish this up properly, ladies and gentlemen, with the finale. All right, so with the finale, first we're going to start off with our players of the week. First of all, give low to Joe Burrow. He is our offensive player of the week. 34 for 42, 481 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks, 138.2 QBR, and a 35-17 win over Atlanta. And then our defensive player of the week, Roquan Smith for the Chicago Bears, 12 tackles, 1 sack, 1 sack, 1 interception, and a 33-14 victory over New England. So congratulations to these 2 guys as they are our one-on-one players of the week. Then we move to our top 5 MVP candidates heading into week 8. Nothing changes. Allen at 1, Hurts at 2, Barkley at 3, Mahomes at 4, and Jefferson at 5. Nothing really happened, in my opinion, to really change that. You can maybe start to give Joe Burrow a little bit of love after last week's performance, but need to see it a little bit more and a little bit more consistently before we get him in there. Or he's definitely in that outside looking in category. But those are your top 5 MVP candidates heading into week 8. Now, let's look at the record. Overall record right now, 60, 47-1. We know how the season started. Things were not looking good. Had to bounce back a little bit. For about a couple of weeks now, we're over 500, 13 games over 500. We will take it. And this week we went 9-5. Probably should have been 10-4, but the Bears disappointed. There was a couple of disappointments in there, but regardless, 9-5, sitting at 13 games over 500 as we enter week 8. hopefully they can start off right here on Thursday night. And speaking of that, Thursday night prediction, as you see, 4-3 now. Boo, boo, boo. But with that being said, 4-3 heading into this one. I got the Baltimore Ravens winning this one 23-17 over the Bucks. I just don't know what happened to this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team. I think they were my prediction to go to the Super Bowl because it's Thomas Brady. And they just look off. I know Tom has got a lot of things going outside in his personal life, and a lot of people want to blame it on that. But maybe it's Father Time. Same thing with Aaron Rodgers. Maybe Father Time is creeping up on these great quarterbacks, the goats of our game, as the young goats are starting to come through with the Mahomes, the Allens, the Barrows, all those guys, the Lamar Jacksons of the world. Those guys are starting to come to the top and be the cream of the crop. And our legends, the guys that we, from my age group, have watched these two and Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers do their thing for like 15 to 20 years plus. So, hey, who knows? Maybe throwback game tonight for Tampa Bay and they go off and they look like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers team we know they are, or will it just be the Ravens going in there, getting another dub and moving to 5-3? We'll find out tonight, but I have the Ravens winning 23-17. All right, and here, ladies and gentlemen, is my predictions for week 8. As you can already see, we already got the Ravens winning their contest tonight against the Buccaneers. I until I can figure out what's going on with them, we're going to keep it that way. All right, so we'll keep it that way for now. Next Sunday morning, we got the Jaguars beating the Broncos. I still just don't have faith in the Broncos just yet until they figure out what's going on offensively. But the Jaguars are playing in their second home in London, so I got Jacksonville. Got the I think I might have missed one, y'all. But I got the Carolina Panthers taking on the Atlanta Falcons. I have the Falcons winning that contest. I think I missed one of the games. Boo. How did I do that? I don't know. So got Carolina winning that one. No, excuse me. I got the Atlanta Falcons winning that one. I think Mariota and the crew will bounce back. They've done decent at home this year. I think they go to 4-4. I got the Cowboys defeating the Bears. We got the Cowboys defeating the Bears. We got the Dolphins beating the Lions. The Vikings beating the Cardinals at home to move to 6-1. The Raiders will get their third victory of the season and kind of get closer and closer to 500. I think they'll beat the Saints in New Orleans. Got the Jets beating the Patriots. The Jets are looking good. That's what it comes down to. The Jets are looking good. So, and they've been playing great defense, and they're starting to click as a team. Then I got the Eagles over the Steelers. They're going to move to 7-0. Got the Titans beating the Texans. But you got to watch out in this matchup because the Texans, they just played the division tough. So, but I got the Titans in this one. Got the Commanders getting their 4th win of the season and getting back to 500, making the NFC beast, continue to look well. I think they'll beat the Colts in Indianapolis. They got the San Francisco 49ers. They've kind of got the Rams number except for an NFC Championship game, but I got 49ers winning this one. Then we got the Giants losing. I got the Giants losing to the Seahawks, and I know I probably have messed the Seahawks up by picking them this week, and I'm sorry, but I'm going with the Seahawks. I think the Seahawks can pull this one off at home against this Giants team. Okay, so Gino, don't make me look bad. Then I got the Buffalo Bills beating the Green Bay Packers. I don't want to give a score to this. I think it could be real bad. I don't want to do my boys dirty. I want to have faith, but I'll be honest with you, y'all. Buffalo's too dangerous. They're just too good all the way around. They'll beat the Packers on Sunday night. And then I got the Browns beating the Bengals. No, I lie. I got the Bengals beating the Browns. And I think the Bengals are starting to click now. This Browns team got to figure out a way to get a dub before things get out of hand. Deshaun won't be back for another couple of weeks. So if they want to have Deshaun in a good spot, I've said it all season, they need to be 5-5, 5-6, something in that range when Deshaun Watson gets back. Man, I cannot believe I forgot about the Falcons and the Panthers, but I got the Falcons in that one, ladies and gentlemen. Do. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for this week's is this week's one-on-one, our second edition of one-on-one. Of course, we had Coach Aaron Russell on last night for a Richmond Spider women's preview. You know, we broadcast the games out there, so that was a fun one. Make sure you go back and check that out. And then, of course, we're here on episode 78, and you know, we'll be back next week for episode 79. And man, we're just like this close, and it may be 80 because we could have Coach Mike Rhodes of the VCU Rams on here next week. So I will reserve it. So it'll be either 79 or 80 next Thursday. Well, we will see how that goes, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, thank you all for tuning in. I say it every week. Go out there, have fun, watch some football, high school, college, NFL, wherever it is. Go find you some football, go enjoy yourself, and have a great time. Once again, everybody, I am your man, Darrell Owens. Thank you all for tuning in. And let me not forget, make sure you check out all the great shows. I'm going to do a quick flash show. We got In or Out here on the Legacy Maker Sports Network, the In and Out Sports Debate with Drew Willingham. We got Commonwealth Sports Talk with Joe Dillard and Lamont Thomas and the rest of the crew, Anthony Robinson. And then you got Monster Minutes with our girl Becca Cottingham Quimby. We got the Three Putt Golf Show with Victor Herrera. Then Ram Talk with our man Rob Johnson. Also the Intense Sports Talk with him as well. Make sure you check that out. Legacy on Fire. The plan, ladies and gentlemen, is to have it come back in November. So Legacy on Fire or at the beginning of December. So be ready for that. The Legacy Maker Sports News update with yours truly. So just be on the lookout for all the good stuff. And of course, you can go and find us, ladies and gentlemen, in all of these great locations on social media. And our website is www.legacymakersports.com. Once again, everybody, thank you all for tuning in. I am your man, Darrell Owens. We will see you all next week for either episode 79 or episode 80. Until next time.
Legacy Maker, the All Sports Network.
Welcome to the one-on-one. When it comes to ratings, man, we number one. I get the truth, then I give them the scoop. If anybody got a question, I give them the